Ej, pozvao sam ljudi da vidim gdje je danas. Radimo Spooky Scary subotu. Ajmo glumit ko da je subota. Znači, ako već niste znali, halo?
Ili možeš reći ko sam?
Eduardo.
Znaš da dolazim, jel tako?
Da. Evo sad snimam, radim, vidimo se poslije. Da, bok.
Što?
Oprostite za to. Govorio sam. I poslije sam rekli da vidim gdje danas radimo Spooky Scary subota. Serijal koji dugo nismo radili. Ali danas snimam utorak. Znate li vi koliko ja sam dugo čekao da snimim? Znači, Spooky Scary subota, za one koji su novi, je serijal gdje svake subote sjednemo, uzmemo nešto za jesti, pit i gledamo strašna videa. I vjerujte mi, u prve 2 epizode bilo su vrlo strašne.
Znači ovdje ljudi sam prekinuo slučajno snimanje, a ovo je budući David. Pa mi idemo u Davida iz prošlosti koji je krenio snimati i tražio videa. Znači ljudi, evo nas. Spooky Scary subota! Danas ćemo imati isto sam 3 videa. A mi idemo u prvi video. A ljudi, prvi video nam se zove Sound Response Check Squimpus McGrimpus. Znači, ovo je jedan FNAF tape. Ko ne zna što je FNAF? Stvarno da ne mogu vjerovati. Svako zna tu popularnu igricu. Five Nights at Freddy's. A još i ja snimam Security Breach. Da, danas sam snimio. Ako niste pogledali, prvo pogledajte to, pa onda ovo. I molim te, kliknite like na ovaj video, priplatite se na moj kanal. Ajmo. Please, make sure that the left and right speakers are correctly placed. If you are unsure, refer to the booklet. Pojačano je do kraja. Yeah, boy. If Chica has responded correctly, she should be good. Na koju stranu treba ići? If Chica has responded correctly, she should be looking to the left. Onda je dobro. Evo čujem 3 sekunde. Čujem desno. If Chica has responded correctly, she should be looking to the right. Gledaj ravno. Audio will play in 3 seconds. Čuo se s oba dvije strane. If Chica has responded correctly, she is audio will play. Za koliko sekundi? 3, 2, 1. The music makes me feel better. Nothing think about birds. I like birds. They're pretty. One time I saw a bird sleeping in the snow. That was bad dreams. That's what bad dreams are about. I feel like I'm sleeping in snow and I can't get up. It's too cold for me to do that. Please don't breathe when they sleep in snow. I can't breathe. Stop. Staj to iza nje! I can't breathe. Staj to iza nje! Staj to iza nje! I can't. Warning. The following video is not suitable for beginners. There's a range of steering the Okay, keep up, I have to look at it. Red Bear's Family Diner for Red Bear. The bite of 87.
I'm glad to see all of you wonderful people.
Red Bear.
Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits.
Golden Freddy.
In the back room.
Golden Freddy! 4 tapes hidden inside the empty chest. Freddy ripped apart with a smile. Bonnie dancing in the dark. Chico and her wonderful song. Foxy meets the happy man. You are gifted and found the fifth. This one I feel ticket. Let me tell you something you might not know. Before your brother died, something else happened at that place. What? Something was wrong with the suit. What? I'm going to tell you a secret. The same thing happened to your father? It killed him, but only for a while. He's still out there. Do you want to find him? I'll show you. Puppet. To be the puppet. Raspberry's fright. Don't worry about time, dates, or locations. You know when it happens. There will be a gasoline canister in the back. Your father will be there, in the building with you. He will look different. But you know it's him. Then you can end this. For good. Damn. I know how you feel, Michael. Michael Austin? It's a lot of responsibility. But when this is done, we'll all be free. You'll be free too. seem like it, but I believe your brother will forgive you. I've forgiven you too. You are good, Michael. Despite what you might think, you do deserve this happy ending. I've been working all this time. I love you, Michael.
See, a good friend is the best thing you could ever have. When life just isn't good to you, they'll always be there to help.
Yeah. For example, there was that time where I got stuck in a washing machine and Fred had to cut a hole in it to get me out.
You know, you still haven't given me a proper explanation for that.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome to your new job at Freddy Fazbear's
Koliko,
Pizza.
brate, traje?
This video will elaborate on your duties as a nighttime security guard and will
Ovo
get
je
you up to speed on the
drugi
tools you will
video.
be using.
A sljedeće 2 epizode su od Horror Shorts Party. 3 true McDonald's Horror Shorts Animated. Ali zašto McDonald's? Sve je fino tamo! Ko je voice actor? Ko je bound of imagery? Ko je to?
Working at McDonald's has ruined my life. I thought it would just be a way to save money for the future while I studied at my local college, but it turned out to be the thing that ripped my future from my grasp. It all started in the summertime. I was working the drive-through window, which is as mundane of a routine as anything else you can do at McDonald's. All the orders were passing through my hands and into car windows in one monotonous blur, just like any other day. But despite the sheer number of people that passed by me during that shift, there was one individual who stuck out. The driver of the vehicle she was in was nothing special, just her whipped boyfriend. But her, I remember her. She had this awful helmet-looking wig of ketchup red hair, which...
To je ona koju smo vidjeli u onom videu. Oh, hell no.
not go with the rest of her style whatsoever. I tried not to stare. I looked up to the screen where the orders came through to see what they got. Her boyfriend got a Big Mac meal with a large Sprite, and she got a 10-piece McNugget meal with a large High C. That may not seem relevant, but I only say this because I know for a fact that I did everything within my responsibility to make sure they got what they were supposed to. I handed over the drinks first. Then I held out the bag of food. I expected her boyfriend in the driver's seat to grab it, but instead, she reached over and snatched it out of my hands, giving me this dirty, ravenous look as she did it. I see some weird things in the drive-thru, so that barely registered anyway. Have a nice day. They sped off out of the drive-thru, and I thought I'd never see them again. Okay. I was wrong. The woman with the ridiculously red hair walked inside not a minute later. I saw her as I was grabbing a McFlurry cup from the front. She was standing with her hands at her hips, impatiently waiting to speak to a manager in a very evident manner. By the time I'd made the McFlurry, the manager was with her. I wasn't really paying attention, but I could see she was being nasty for no good reason. I don't know what kind of day the manager was having, but he wasn't having any of this woman's attitude. They started screaming at each other. You come into my establishment and you insult my employees. What the hell do you think you're doing in here? I'm gonna take you out back and rip your damn wig off, you piece of shit! Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her
Die! Taj šef nije sretan što je ona opet ovdje došla. Znamo da nije, brate, sretan.
Bit in the manager's eye, to which he slapped her in the face. He immediately regretted throwing hands and disappeared from the counter to go hide in his office. That's when the crazy woman went berserk. She started hollering at the top of her lungs, pushing stuff off the counter and throwing random objects into the kitchen. She threw over a cup of straws, spilling them all over the floor.
What, y'all think I'm stupid? Think I can't count? I got a 10-piece.
Ako ti ne uzmeš tu crvenu, ružnu, fake kosu sa svoje glave i isteraš svoju gusu van, bit će pravih problema.
Not a 9-piece. Maybe I rip off one of your fingers and see how you feel about it.
She was making an awful scene. At that point, I couldn't help but look. Several of my co-workers went to the counter to try and calm her down or get her out of the restaurant, but she was inconsolable. She pulled on one of those plexiglass barriers that hangs in front of the cash register and hurled it towards somebody. It nearly stabbed their eye out. Still, the corner of the plexiglass sliced them in the temples.
Znamo. Brate, znamo. Šta onda trebamo napraviti tad?
112. Ta cura ovdje. Ajmo!
Brate, to je najlakša stvar iskreno za napraviti. Ono stvar koju ste sad vidjeli, najlakša stvar za napraviti. Ode ona! Ode do kraja života u zatvor. Ajmo mi ljudi dalje.
Spurting blood all down their shirt.
Let me see that witch that gave me my food. Come on, she needs a good beating.
I realized she was talking about me, and that's when she jumped the counter. She locked eyes with me at the window and lunged, but she was caught by a small crowd of employees who got a hold of her and threw her out the door. But she came back. Several times she came back, actually. Every time we thought she was gone, she would storm back in and throw something else at the people in the kitchen. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the manager came out and yelled at her.
The cops are on their way. You really want to throw your life away over one chicken nugget?
Poslušali su me. Horror Shorts Party. Horror Shorts Party. Thank you, bro, for making in this compilation them listening to me. Thank you, bro.
With that, she disappeared. The cops showed up about an hour later, asked a few questions, and took a copy of the security footage. I thought she would eventually get fined a few grand or spend a few nights in jail, but we never got word that she'd been caught.
Samo. Glavne špijet.
3 or 4 months passed, the season changed, and I pretty much forgot about the whole thing. Pretty much everyone moved on, even the cops. Then, one day, I was working the drive-thru again, and I saw her. She came back with her boyfriend and ordered the exact same thing. My heart sank to the floor when she came up to the window. I recognized her immediately. She still wore that same awful red wig, but this time she was even more insane looking. She stared me down with this creepy, deranged smile, like some kind of psycho would look at their next victim. But she didn't say anything. She just took her food and drove off slowly, looking at me through the window until they were out of sight. I thought about calling the cops, but I figured she would leave once she counted all 10 of her nuggets. It gave me a jolt, forcing me to remember her littler rampage back in August, but after a while I wasn't thinking about it. Several hours passed.
Dogodilo se u kolovozu. Trenutno je kolovoz. Damn, boy.
And the sun went down. Then I was done with my shift. Right before I walked out the door, I remembered that I'd seen her that day. Just as a precaution, I got out my keychain and clutched the little pink bottle of pepper spray. I'd had this thing since I was a sophomore in high school, about 6 years, so I was sure it was expired, but I figured it would be good enough. I pushed open the door and walked out with long, quick strides headed for my car. Within seconds, I heard her walking behind me, racing to catch up with me, coming up so quickly that I was sure she was about to attack. Instinctively, I turned around and sprayed her straight in the eyes. Without bothering to linger for any reason, I turned back and ran to my car. As I fumbled with my keys looking for the unlock button, I looked back to the woman with the insanely colored hair. She was still standing, but she was staggering. I saw her wipe her eyes vigorously and spit on the ground. Then she looked straight at me. Her eyes were bloodshot, all the skin around them swollen and red and covered in thick teeth.
Šta bi ja? Ovo bi ja napravio.
Stojiš tam. Mislim da ću to što napraviti.
Evo dalje.
Bared her teeth like a rabid animal, drooling. She screamed horridly, then charged at me unhindered. I pulled open the car door and jumped inside, locking it behind me. I thought I was safe, but before I could even calm my nerves enough to start my car, I saw a rock bashing into the window, smashing it like a wine glass. I shrieked, and then her hands came through the window. They grabbed me by the hair and yanked me through the door, all over the shards of glass and dropping me on the pavement while still grasping at my scalp. She struck me in the face repeatedly, using her nails like claws, cutting my face and eyes, splitting my lip and scarring my cheeks.
This will teach you to disrespect me, you little punk. You gon' remember me.
I don't know how long I was taking that for. I didn't fight back. I just clutched my car keys so she wouldn't steal it. Eventually, I heard my manager come out and start yelling. That's when the crazy woman dropped me to the ground and ran off, disappearing once again. And what's worse, the police still haven't found her. They don't care enough about me to go looking, I guess. But she ruined my life. I quit my job after that day, and I moved back into my parents' house. I even missed my college graduation because my face was so messed up. I'm too scared to go outside. I'm just worried that I'm going to run into her, and she'll recognize me all over again.
The customer begins to argue with a worker over her order. There is no audio, but witnesses told police that the customer became verbally abusive toward the staff. That's when the situation turned violent.
Dang! I to se, brate, stvarno čak I dogodilo. Ludo. Aj sad molim te, Terence Nicholson. Vi ljudi ne znate, ali Terence Nicholson je toliko dobar kad on nešto glumi. Nikad ovo nisam govorio, iako smo tek 3 epizode. Ali u prvoj epizodi kad smo slušali Horror Shorts Party i čuli Terence Nicholson, vidjeli ste koliko je on, brate, bio dobar. Ho. Molim te, Terence Nicholson. Terence Nicholson!
Oh my!
Around the early 2000s, there was a high clown epidemic, where multiple reports of people being chased by clowns was at an all-time high. Most were classified as pranks, but regardless of their intentions, it was downright terrifying. The next story was inspired by some footage of a Ronald McDonald terrorizing someone at McDonald's. Here's what it looked like.
Oh my!
Have you ever wondered why they say, "Would you like fries with that?" After every meal you purchase, the offer seemingly comes up despite you already ordering. I know why, and I'll tell you, but I need to give a disclaimer that this story isn't for the faint-hearted. This allegedly happened to a friend of mine. We'll call him John, and we'll call his roommate Brad. The fall semester was in full effect, and the pair had both studied at the same campus nearby their student housing. It was alleged that John moved in with Brad as he was originally from out of town, and needed a place to stay for the following curriculum. Brad was known to not be the most pleasant individual to study around, due to his constant guitar rehearsals for his rock band. This would cause John to always opt to study at a nearby McDonald's. It was usually the go-to place for students, as this particular franchise was a 24-hour establishment. The McDonald's was never packed, at least not during the night shifts, so finding a place to sit wasn't so bad. You would occasionally find a loiterer or two.
Kad ti samo dođeš u McDonald's, znači ideš sa školom na izlet. I onda tam dođeš na izlet i kaže da idete u McDonald's. Ti si toliko sretan i onda tam dođeš, uzmeš burger, pojedeš pomez, otvoriš igračku, kupiš sladoled, pojedeš jedan, pojedeš drugi i popiješ onaj Sprite, cola, Fanta, što god dobiješ, brate mili, najedeš se i onda kod kuće eksplodirati WC.
And were guaranteed to find this one female bookworm who would literally show up every night. John would always purchase a meal before study, giving him a plausible excuse to dine without feeling like he was loitering. Hello, sir. Welcome to McDonald's. How may I take your order? Just a Big Mac and a small Coke, please. All right, sir. And would you like fries with that? No, thank you. Are you sure, sir? It's almost 3 a.m.
Flip!
Okay, so what? All right, sir, that'll...
Ko je to tam iza? Zašto sam njega stavili iza? Jel on iz neke druge priče možda? Ne znam, ali sam mi je čudno što su sam njega stavili tam iza da hoda. Mislio sam da bi bilo onak više, ali sam su njega. Nam puno. Idemo dalje.
Be $8.19 after taxes, and how will you be paying? Card, ma'am. John taps his card on the machine and awaits his food as the odd behavior from the cashier left him feeling uneasy. Nonetheless, John grabs his tray of food and sits down to begin his long chore of studying. About 10 minutes before 3 a.m., the female bookworm slides by John's table with a frantic look on her face and says,
It's almost time. You should probably pick up your fries now.
What the hell are you talking about, lady?
Dude, hurry up. We don't have much time.
The female proceeds to head towards the front counter while John sat there dumbfounded. John then gets up from his seat and follows the girl's lead by ordering a large fry after her. As the pair head to their respective tables with their fries, John approaches the female and begins to interrogate her by saying, I got the fries, now what?
I recommend just sitting down with your fries. It's literally going to be 3 a.m. any second now.
What the hell are you talking about, lady?
You don't know about him? The clown?
Who?
Duh, Ronald McDonald. Haven't you gotten the hint why they always ask if you want fries with that?
No. Why?
I recommend you always have fries on hand, or else he'll turn you into a McFlurry.
And what do we have on today's menu? Hello, young lads. Such a fine couple you are. Care to share some delectable fries? Pretty please?
Okay.
Sure, sir. Good. I'll catch you all next time. And make sure to have fries with your Big Macs and Happy Meals. And that's when he departed.
To je zašto volim Terence Nicholson. Ono sam... Znači, to je zašto ga, brate, volim. A proste, to je bila moja seka, ali ne veze. Ja bi iskreno jučer svaki put pomez, jer njihov pomez, ljudi, sam se nadam da ovo brzo završi, jer prazna mi je baterija. Ima 5%, pa moramo ovo brzo.
The building. The more John studied at the McDonald's, the more he slowly realized that this was an everyday thing. Well, a 3 a.m. thing to be exact. The so-called Ronald McDonald would torment the customers and employees for fries, as if they were in debt to him for something. Nobody really bothered to do a damn thing about it, just went along with the whole facade. John, on the other hand, wasn't so pleased with the idea of being taxed to sit at McDonald's in exchange for his fries. But there was nothing he could really do about it. John had spread the word about the clown, but no one really believed him, especially his loud roommate Brad. One night, John decided to bring Brad to the McDonald's and prove that what he was saying was in fact legit. Brad didn't believe him and scoffed at the whole ordeal, as if the clown was some fake phony urban legend or some weirdo hustling food.
Ako taj njegov roommate ne uzme pomes, znamo već da će on biti mrtav. Uzmi pomes, uvijek. I ovako onak je vrlo fin.
Food for regular customers. The time was 10 minutes shy before 3, and that's when everyone excluding Brad went to the front counter to pick up an order of fries. What makes the story more disturbing was how Brad carried himself. He had the same stubborn attitude.
Brad nije uzeo. Mrtav je.
And remained seated at the table despite John's multiple warnings. When 3 a.m. came around, the clown entered the McDonald's and immediately approached the bookworm's table first.
Smells like this batch was fresh off the fryer.
The clown then approaches John and Brad's table as they looked at the clown with their jaws hanging to the ground.
Ooh, look what we have here.
That's when John saw Brad holding a handful of fries with his bare hands, and John's fry container completely empty without an ounce of potato in it.
I recommend you always have fries on hand, or else he'll turn you into a McFlurry.
No. Ah!
Ljudi, mislim da znate koji će biti thumbnail za danas. Ovo je, brate, naš današnji thumbnail. Samo da ga ljudi brzinski uslikam. I thumbnail napravljen.